What's up, rock stars? It's Rocks with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So let's get to it. Okay, rock stars, this is honestly going to be, and I feel like this is how these top of the blogs are going to go for a minute, considering we are all at home because of, I'm not going to say it, it'll go on the screen. You guys, I didn't even, like, all of the subjects that people asked me to talk about, I was just like, most of it was requests about TV shows that I haven't even watched, but we'll talk about that later. Let me just go through what I got in my notes, okay? If we wanted to talk a little bit about the politics, I actually just got my absentee ballot in the mail. Didn't even ask for one. They just automatically sent us forward to the house. So I guess they're like, planning ahead just in case people aren't able to get out to vote. They sent those to us. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. The only story that I had, besides the very extremely obvious, is we can talk about the election. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that is so far away from my thought process right now. I can give a fuck. It almost feels like the election is going to get screwed up because of, so it's just, I don't even really know how this is going to pan out, and if people are even going to pay attention, and if folks are sick. Are people even going to be worried about even an absentee ballot? But I guess Joe Biden is still in the lead. Bernie Sanders has not dropped out. I guess he's gotten some extra encouragement from, exactly what is going on right now. I guess, really, though, if you think about it, Bernie has more of the younger vote, and they are already, not the type that will get out and vote as readily as anybody else. And I'm thinking the older generation are usually the ones that's going to vote no matter what. These young kids, they might be like, fuck that vote. And that still might screw Bernie, Yeah, I don't know. How do you guys feel about the election? Like, when's the last time you seriously, honestly thought about it? I know I have some of my, like, for real, true blue political heads out there that's always going to keep their eye on that. But I think the average person is just like, I ain't thought about nothing else, and even on the news, CNN and MSNBC and all of the news outlets, they're not even talking about the election. You may be able to get it. Like, I always read about it on, I get New York Times. They send me, 5 points every day. So in the morning when I wake up, I always go there first and I read up. And that's really the only reason why I'm, like, kind of still knowing what's happening in the world of politics. But as far as the election is concerned. But somebody put into my comments that Joe Biden was possibly thinking about asking Hillary Clinton to be his running mate. I was like, is that a rumor? I don't think that's the best idea, and it's just sort of like, are you trying to shoot yourself in the foot? It's already been proven once that people wasn't necessarily feeling Miss Clinton, I think it's actually a cool ticket, but I think most people, not most, but a lot of people would probably be against that. And why not just bring somebody that's fresh out there in the political world right now, who's actively out there and doing what they need to do? It's going to be a woman, but, we'll see who exactly that choice will be, if he is indeed the person that is, that gets that nomination. But yeah, child, I couldn't tell you one way or the other how this election is going to go. The world is so chaotic. It is just so chaotic right now. And it's been chaotic progressively the last 3 years. But child, as we got to this 4th year, no, I don't think nobody could have told us that we would have been in some shit like this, right? What else is happening in the world of politics that I can step gingerly, and be careful what I'm talking about? Is there anything else? Everything is about. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know, you guys. You guys just go on and leave it in the comments below what you think. What else is happening in the world of politics, and just kind of throw in your your 411 on who dropped kicked who. Shout out to Aretha Franklin. But that's it. That's pretty much for the serious type topics. Let's move on to the rest. All right, let's see. First story, let's talk about Drake. Drake has released pictures of his little baby boy Adonis. Okay, you guys know we found out about him from rapper Pusha T when he dropped that infamous song, the beef with Drake that he had, that seemed to come out of the blue. Of course, I'm not no hip hop head, so I don't know the background on why Pusha T even decided to go there. I know it has something to do with Kanye and blah, 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 blah. Okay, none of that matters in this story. He released the pictures of the little boy, cute little boy. Soon as I saw the pictures, I said, oh, he looks like Drake's mom. Now, I thought that before I started to see all of this talk about the little boy not looking like Drake. And I was just like, see, this is how fucked up social media is and how stupid really social media can be. How many times have we been in families or, we've seen families have children that looks nothing like their parents, even though the little boy looks like Drake to me. I can see Drake in the little boy. But how many times have we seen babies being born and they skip a generation, look like a long lost uncle, or look like their granny? It's just like, why don't people realize that genetics play a very large part into how you come out, what you look like? The girl is white, right? And Drake is mixed, so of course the little boy is going to look white more than he would look even biracial, but he is, okay? But yeah, he looks just like the mom. Looks just like Drake's mother. And then I saw yesterday 50 Cent said that the girl had pretty much spit out Drake's mother and had put a picture up next to her. And I said, see, yeah, I knew that. That's the first thing that I thought. I don't know how people just didn't see that. But, folks just like to have something to say. He's a cute little boy. Blonde curls, that the mom is Jewish, right? It kind of has like that coarse Jewish curly hair, but he's blonde. I mean, full blown strawberry blonde, blue eyes, cute kid. All right. I mean, what else can you say about it? I'm sure that Drake is not going to be taking care of a child that is not his. I'm sure he's generous enough, but I don't know many men out there that just decide, first of all, he's not even with the girl. So why would he be taking care or claiming a child that's not his? It's just stupid. I was just like, that's the reason why a lot of times people don't even like to release pictures of their kids, especially when they're that age, because it's just so much scrutiny, and a lot of the scrutiny is dumb. So, but I thought he was a cute enough little kid. I was like, oh, sucks that he's not with a person, that, he could share for real share in their life as a mom and dad, as a unit. But I mean, it doesn't always work out that way. And that's just kind of how the way the world goes. And speaking of having children out of wedlock or with no real partner, Rihanna has come out in an interview and said that she would like to have a couple of children. And she would like to do that whether or not she's with, a specific man or not, and she doesn't feel like you have to have that person. That society has put that thought on people, that it really needs to be a family unit in order to successfully raise a child. She says that all you truly need is love. Okay, that is what makes the person the happiest. And if you're able to show that person the love, then nothing else matters. Now, I believe that. Okay, I do believe that love in the end, at the very end of the day, is what's important. However, I still believe that we need to have a mother and a father. Okay, because there's some things in life that you can definitely teach your child. Like if I was a single mom and I had a son, and you can definitely teach your son certain things, but there are other things that just a man needs to be there to give them that guidance. Now, you can still get that guidance from other family members or just other men that are in your life that are important, that, you know, decide to step in as that masculine father type figure. But sometimes, what if you don't have that, you know? So it's just a balance, just like in life. You need to have one side and you need to have the other, okay? But it doesn't always work out that way. Would I choose to just set out and say I'm going to have a child without a partner? I wouldn't do that, but many people do, and that's okay too, okay? Especially if you can financially take care of these children on your own. You know, you can pay for, you know, some of those things that a person might miss because they're a part of a single family home. I mean, a single parent home. So, you know, but celebrities do it all the time. So it's not because of where Rihanna comes from in this generation, and just, you know, when I say where she comes from, I'm talking about as a celebrity, just the whole Hollywood mentality and just feeling like you want your child, you should have your child. Okay, so no problems there. That's her life, and if she like it, I love it. All right, you guys, one story that's sort of indirectly related to, okay, we've had a couple of celebrities that have come out. And actually, I've heard a lot of people talking about this. People not taking this social distancing thing seriously. We've had Lunel come out, and then we also had Nene come out and say that their children, their teenage child, 19, 20, you know, young adult child, was not taking it seriously, was going out, hanging out with friends, trying to come back home. Eventually, Lunel just told her daughter that she couldn't come back. Nene said that she was thinking about telling her youngest son, what's the boy named, Brent, telling Brent that he couldn't come back because he wasn't taking it seriously. I don't know if Lunel has had any health problems, but we know that Nene had the pulmonary embolism. We know that Greg has recently had cancer. And yeah, I saw a meme the other day that said that if it was a disease that was reversed and that young people were more likely to die, that old people would be doing everything in their power to stay indoors. And that's so true. You know, I don't know if it is just this generation, how we have raised our children to think that only they matter. You know, this is definitely an entitled generation. I know that for a fact because I have teenage children. Well, I have a teenage child and a 21-year-old, but my teenage child definitely comes from that way of thinking, and I have to remind her all the time, you know, to correct her. So I can just imagine, you know, I know exactly what they're going through. I have had to have plenty of talks with Jada to keep her ass in this house, you know, and now they have finally put, the governor is going to sign a bill today to you know, have everybody a shelter in place for the whole state of Georgia. And the only way you should be going out is if you're going to the grocery store, you know, picking up takeout food, going to doctor's appointments, you know, essential things. Nothing like we just going with our friends and hanging out and driving around. They're going to find you. They're going to fine you, and you could possibly do some jail time. Okay. So I thought that they should have did this. This should have happened for the whole nation 3 weeks ago, because if they did, we would be 3 weeks into this already. Okay. And we could have maybe possibly hit that curve and flattened it out before we started. Now it's just like one state is doing it. It's like they're kind of treating each state as a country. And that would work if the borders were closed. You know, if the borders were closed and people couldn't go and travel everywhere, then that would possibly help. But the fact that people are still able to freely get on the highway and go, like my husband went and got my son from Louisiana last week. Louisiana is a hot spot. You know, New Orleans in particular. He was in Baton Rouge, but New Orleans in particular is a hot spot. And just imagine, my husband went and got my son and brought him here to Georgia. If he had indeed been infected, then we already had brought somebody here to, you know, so I was just like, if they would just close the borders, then you could individually treat each state as a country. But when you got folks still going and traveling, going everywhere, and each state has their own, you know, everybody's able to do what they want to do. in only certain cities is closing down and all, it's just too. Child, let me stop talking about it before they flag my channel. But you guys know what I'm saying, right? That's the frustrating part about this. We could have been 3 weeks into this, or, possibly getting to our third week of this. And now there's still plenty of states that ain't got to none of this yet. The Midwest, so they still have some shit to look forward to themselves, unfortunately so. But I can understand telling your kids if you feel like your kids, but then the thing about it with me is if I told my kids they couldn't come home, then I would be worried about what they're doing out there. Like, at least I know when they in my house, I know exactly what's happening. I finally got through to Jada. Finally, okay? But every day is touch and go, honey. I got to sit down and I got to say again, like, you're not going nowhere. Do not ask me, can you go somewhere? No, okay? It's an everyday struggle, but I'll just be so glad when we get past this, you guys. It's just still the weirdest, strangest, craziest thing. There's so many stories that I just honestly don't care about, but we'll Keely from 3LW. Did you guys care about that? Somebody asked me to talk about it, so I did do a little research on it, but I was just like, I ain't gave a fuck about 3LW back then, and I sure enough ain't giving a fuck about 3LW today. But this Keely girl, I guess she just ain't had shit else to do. I don't know who had then pulled her coattail or who had then tugged on her bell long enough for her to feel like she needed to come out and talk about why 3LW broke up and why her and Naturi Naughton and Adrian Bailon still don't, didn't jail back then and still don't jail now. I was just like, girl, who asked you? Somebody must have asked her for her to go and do a full live. But she just felt like people have been lying on her. I guess there was a story about there was a plate of mashed potatoes that was supposedly smashed in Naturi Naughton's face when they were on the road, I guess, on some sort of tour. They had just hit number one, a number one song. They just had a number one song. I don't even know what the song is. But she got into a fight with her and Keely supposedly smashed the mashed potatoes in Naturi's face, and she said from that point on she was like, I was done. Okay, we've also heard Naturi talk about, her feeling like the reason why they treated her so bad because she was dark skinned, and that they were kind of color struck and treated her bad. But Keely says none of that is true, that they were already having some tension in the group. She didn't press mashed potatoes in the girl's face. I was just like, child, there's way more things in this world for us to be fucking worried about. We can give a fuck about no mashed potatoes and Naturi and Keely. She is saying how her and Adrian Bailon used to be best friends, and now they're not, but Adrian will never admit that they were best friends. I still don't know how this changes our life or, how this information does anything for us at this point in time. But like I said, I'm sure that they still have their fans out there. And maybe it was something that the fans wanted to know. But somebody in my comments asked me to talk about it. And I was just like, child, who cares? Like, Naturi has moved on to Power. Adrian, well, see, this might be the reason. Naturi is successful with Power. Adrian is successful with The Real. And what is Keely doing? Okay, maybe this is her way of still trying to stay relevant. Maybe has some bitter feelings because of the fact that the two girls that she says wronged her have gone on to be, somewhat successful. I don't even know. That's just me just thinking about it. But I don't really know, you guys. I don't know. Like I said, I just know Prometheus. What other song did they do? Like, I don't even really know their songs. Like, child, but that lets you know that it ain't shit happening in the world today. So these are the type of stories that motherfuckers is asking me to talk about at top of the blogs. What y'all thought about that? Do you care about 3LW? So the other day, B Simone. Now, we all know that B Simone loved her some DaBaby, okay? And that she had taken it so far as, it's so funny how, as a comedian, like, you know, you do things to push the envelope, or, you know, you do things to kind of get the joke at any cost and all of this. So, you know, she was doing that, and so she had a big life-size poster or whatever, a board of DaBaby that she was carrying around. It had got to the point where it was just sort of crazy. I was like, girl, this is past the joke now. Like, even though you might still be joking, you know, you'd be joking, but you sort of serious. So that's kind of how she was. But the whole thing was, everybody knew that he had a girlfriend, all right, his baby mama. But we see how that played out, so maybe that didn't even matter, okay? Because now he ain't even with the baby mama. He done got this other lady pregnant that he's not with at the time. You know, sometimes these rappers, like, at this age, when they are at the height of their, well, not even the height of their career, but they are successful in their career and they're young like this, it's hard to keep them tied down unless you know, willing to put up with, you know, some infidelity. You would hope that the motherfucker wouldn't get somebody pregnant. Like, damn, can you just fuck around if you're gonna do that? You know, go on and do what you're gonna do. I don't need to know about it. And can we not produce a baby out of that? Is that asking too much? So him and the baby mama, they not together no more, right? I thought he really did care about the baby mama. But you know how it is. Like I said, they loins, honey. They can't control it. You get puss thrown at you from every angle. You on the road. You got a bitch in every city, you know, so you know how that goes. But getting back to B Simone. So B Simone, everybody knows that she has this thing for DaBaby. Well, the other day she posted a picture and it was the backside of her and it was clearly DaBaby's hands. He was gripping her. So she was in between his legs. And so her back was to us and he would be facing the camera. However, they had his face covered with her head, so you couldn't see his face. You saw a little bit of his nose, and then you saw his hands, and he has the distinct tattoos on his hands. At first, I was looking at the thumbs. I was like, child, am I really this bored that I'm trying to make sure that those are his thumbs? I'm looking at the pictures and looking at his thumbs and shit. I was like, that don't look like his thumbs. His thumbs look like somebody that bite their nails. But then I was like, this is probably him, whatever. I never thought that them two was a couple, though. I said, this is just going to be something for everybody to, because he strikes me, even though he is out there and he's definitely in them streets and getting in them skins, okay, he still doesn't strike me as the type that's just going to put it on social media like that. She probably would, but then if we was really trying to be serious, maybe she wouldn't either. But you know, everybody, when she put the picture up, you know, her thing is that she's the manifestation queen. So anything that she puts out there in the universe, then it happens for her. Okay. And this was just another proof of it happening, her and DaBaby hooking up. But the next day we find out that it was for a video shoot. And he posted, you know, marketing queen, that same picture that she posted, and put marketing queen. So it was just to get some talked up about, why am I so out of breath and nervous, you guys? Oh, child, I tell you, when I go outside now, I don't know if it's the pollen. I don't know if it's the anxiety of just being out in the air, but my chest gets so tight and I'll be taking these deep ass breaths like, you know, is my lungs clear and all? I mean, this is really going to have us so fucked up. When this is all said and done, you guys, we are going to be so scarred from all of this. If anything, is going to make us very aware of our cleanliness and what we're around and who we're around and all of that. You know, things that we just really didn't think about. And so that's why I feel like I'm out of breath, because I'm feeling like I'm outside and I got to go to Walmart in a few minutes. Oh, you guys pray for your girl. Oh, I'll be so nervous. Anyway, so it was just for a video shoot, okay? And while she may be doing it with DaBaby, I wouldn't put much stock in that because DaBaby is doing it with everybody. Girl, you was manifesting something. Well, at least a little bit of what you wanted out of that whole situation. So nothing to worry about there, you guys. Doesn't look like those two are truly a couple. Okay, now one good thing that has come out of, you know, us being locked in because of this here, it has been all of the different Remember I told you guys last week that there's going to be a big pickup in creativity when it comes to social media and just people, because they're home and because you can't get out and do as you could before, that there would be a wave of other things that would happen, as a result. We first of all can talk about these cute little videos, even though they're starting to be a lot. Like every time you turn around, there's one. I actually just saw one with some transgender women, with the girl from Star. What is her name? Amaya. Yeah, I think it's Amaya Scott. And a lot of other transgendered women. They just did one, but we've seen it with the doctor, the black doctors. We've seen it with the black male doctors, the black female doctors. We've seen it with the women that have on the African attire. We've seen it with the heavy set women, or should I say big, beautiful women. Let me not offend anybody. We've seen it with all type of people, okay? And I'm actually enjoying them all. And usually that kind of stuff gets on my nerves like after a while, but like every time one is done, unless it's just been shabbily done, I don't feel like seeing no just thrown together bullshit. I actually think I have seen a couple of that was just like sort of thrown together. But for the most part, I am really enjoying those, okay? It's just, especially that black doctors one, the men, I was like, sure. Boy, them men was looking good, honey, and they was putting their full IG handle and everything. I said they must be single, because honey, they was nice. Those have been entertaining to watch. TikTok is big right now and it's picking up and everybody's doing their thing on there. Somebody put in my comments they was waiting for me and my family to do. No, we not really that family, you guys. The kids may try to do something every now and then, but that is not our thing. Okay, so you ain't got to worry about us doing those type of videos. We ain't for that. But they're cute and I've been enjoying them, especially now, because what else is there? This shit ain't shit else to do, you guys. Another thing that I've been enjoying on Instagram Live is these producer battles. It started, I told you guys about it just last week with Swizz Beatz and Timbaland. And now we've had a number of challenges that have gone back and forth. Of course, we know the one about Sean Garrett and The Dream that went way, way, way left. Which it wasn't surprising to me, because I was telling Ashley, I said, they are both assholes. Sean Garrett, I remember him being an asshole from Love and Hip Hop. When I went to the reunion, he acted such a fool and it was so unnecessary. I was like, what are you going off for? I mean, it was just so left field and I could never understand why he was just so mad at Stevie. I mean, just crazy. So he had already struck me as an asshole. And then we knew that The Dream was an asshole, because I've seen him be an asshole to Christina Milian, and he just says shit. He's very cocky, and so is Sean Garrett. And that's fine. There's a difference between arrogance, cockiness, and confidence, okay? And he was the arrogant, cocky type, The Dream was. Turns out Sean Garrett was too, so they couldn't quite seem to get their shit together. Then we had another really notable one was Jonta and Neo. Theirs was like songwriter, producer type credit. And that Jonta had so many songs. I mean, Neo did too. But Neo's sound is very distinct. Like, you can tell a Neo song. Jonta, to me, has a more broad sound. And that was why I felt like he won his battle. But they both had hits. So, that goes without saying. Theirs was what was much more, friendly, and we didn't feel like, they was going to be talking about each other's mamas and shit up there on the screen. So that one was good. I just listened to last night. They had Manny Fresh against Scott Storch. Now, originally, yesterday, I thought it was supposed to be Scott Storch and T-Pain. I was like, that's a bad no. Even though T-Pain's got some... Man, I can tell you about some good times with T-Pain's music, for sure. That's when we first moved out here in Atlanta, and I was hanging with my girls, like, all the time. Ooh, some of them songs used to be where we used to have a good-ass time. So, even though T-Pain has some good music, I was like, Scott Storch used to have everything back in the day. everything. So I was like, that's not going to work. Then they said Manny Fresh. And I was like, okay, maybe Manny Fresh. But I quickly found out last night when I was watching the battle, there's no comparison, because even though Manny Fresh has some for real bangers too, and the only reason why I kind of know Manny Fresh's music is because me and my friend Val, we kind of went through a Hot Boys phase in LA. Nobody was really listening to Hot Boys like that unless it was like the big Hot Boys song, like "What You Want, Girl? I Need a Hot Boy." Or "What You Need, Girl? I Need a..." Those songs everybody knew, but all of the Hot Boys music, unless you were like regionally placed, like down south or southeast, you know, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, you know, his music I think was more concentrated down here. Scott Storch, again, way broader sound and also more genres. So he crossed over to pop music, and he did R&B, and he did, you know, hip hop, and he did. So again, it wasn't really a fair matchup. People said that he should go up against, who is it that they were saying? Oh, they said somebody last night. I can't even think about it. If I think about it, I'll put it up on the screen. But Scott Storch was, he was putting them. I was like, oh, child. When they start playing, I mean, everything that he played, I was just like, yeah. But Manny Fresh definitely had some good ones too, and brought back some good memories too. But like I said, it's, you know, unless you were down south during that time, like early 90s, mid 90s, a lot of that music that he was playing, I don't know if everybody across the U.S. was familiar with. Who was it that they were saying that Scott Storch should have went up against? Oh, Pharrell. They were saying that he should have went up against either Pharrell or the Neptunes. And then that would have maybe been a fairer fight, because we know the Neptunes also had crossover hits. I just saw just a few minutes ago that there's one coming up this weekend with T-Pain and... who was it? T-Pain. It just went out of my head. Little John. Little John and T-Pain, which actually is that's a good one. Okay, because they are both, even though Little John, honey, we was wearing out to the windows, to the walls in LA. But I think that's going to be a good a good matchup. So they're going to be doing something this Saturday, I believe, either Friday or Saturday. By the time I get this edited and put up, that's going to today will be Friday. But actually, I'm videotaping this on Thursday, you guys. Excuse me, I'm so out of breath. Whew. This lungs clear. Nigga be so nervous in the morning. I be like, am I coughing? Can I breathe? Child, you gotta laugh to keep from crying. That's just where we are in life today. But yeah, what other matchups would you guys like to hear? Somebody said something about Usher and Trey Songz. I was like, please. Now, I love Trey Songz music. I love all of his albums, actually. I can find 3 or 4 good songs that I've enjoyed. Maybe not that last album, but you know, for the most part, I've liked Trey Songz music. But Usher would blow him out of the water. Absolutely not. See, the younger generation, they just don't know. And then when they said Monica and Brandy, I said, you guys have got to be kidding. Are you kidding me? Again, love Monica to death. I do. I think she has a fantastic voice that has never gone to its, she could have gotten way more. I feel like Monica's always had kind of that hood element about her a little bit. You guys know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that she's ghetto or anything about it, but I think that element that's in her has kind of held her back some. Because even though we know Whitney Houston had that hood element in her, Whitney was good at hiding it until she got so big it didn't matter no more. Okay. Monica's not so much. So I think even though Clive Davis had his eye on her, it just never really panned out. And, you know, it just didn't seem to pan out for her like it could have. But so she's got a lot of hits. I mean, one of her songs, somebody sang it in my wedding when I got married. You know, I will cross the ocean for you. So, I mean, I love Monica, but can't go up against Brandy. It's just no. It's just no. Just Brandy's first album alone, child. Every single song on there. Okay, so just no. All right. Definitely would have Brandy in that in that battle. But I don't think that would happen because, you know, I don't know if that one would be in fun. It would sort of be like a replay of Sean Garrett in A Dream, because we know that those two don't like each other, don't see it for each other, never will. Or maybe I should say Brandy more so doesn't like Monica. And I guess Monica's just decided she ain't gonna fuck with Brandy because of that. So, yeah, so those have been actually interesting to see. Who else would you guys like to see coming up? You know, having a battle or just playing their music to see. Just kind of reminds you too. It's sort of like a trip down memory lane. Just let me know what other artists you could think of that would be entertaining enough to watch. And then lastly, you guys, I can't believe I've been able to stretch out a video this long. TV shows, since we've been on the lockdown, I have not had time to watch anything, you guys. Even though I'm home and I'm working from home, I feel like I am just as busy here than I am compared to work, like when I'm physically at my office, because I do my videos. I still have work from home. I have my dogs here. Like, my day is taken up in this book club. Y'all know about Roxy Reed's book club. Okay, so I had bookmarks that I made for some of my subscribers. Certain Patreons who had joined at a level got these bookmarks. And when I tell you them bookmarks kicking my ass, and I have got to get them out in the mail by tomorrow. So I'm like doing all this other shit, you know, and it is taking up my day. I don't have time to sit down and watch. The only time that I really have to sit down is I have to watch Maury. Maury is my guilty pleasure. 1 and 5 o'clock, y'all, I am planted. I'm watching me some damn Maury. It just be so ridiculous. It really takes me, it makes me escape from the real world. So I love watching that. But as far as these streaming shows, like, I haven't watched anything. I think I'm going to watch Tiger King tonight. I'm going to see if me and Mr. can watch that. But and everybody's talking about it. And, you know, I'm kind of one of those people that once everybody's talking about it, it makes me not feel like I got to rush to go see it. But I was like, maybe I'll do, maybe if it's good enough, I might do a review on it if it's as crazy as everybody is saying that it is. Little Fires Everywhere, I haven't seen that. And I'm not in the mood for that. I don't know really what it's about, but whatever it's about, I ain't in the mood. I'm only in the mood for some fool of fucking niggatry. Okay, so if Tiger King look like that's what it's gonna be. I have started watching Ozark, though. I am on season 3 and I am on episode 3. And that show is just really good. I can watch that when I get in the tub at night. I'll just put on an episode and lay there and watch that. So that's been really the only thing that I've been watching. You guys also let me know what other shows, but those are the 3 that people seem to be talking about the most. I think I saw Kevin was the first one that talked about Tiger King. I had no idea what it's about, and just everybody is like, even my cousin Adina out here, who doesn't strike me as the type to just watch all kind of foolishness, but even she said, when I tweeted it, she said the child is just a train wreck, redneck good time. So I think I am going to go on and watch that, because I need something to take myself away from all the stressors in life right now. But what else are you guys watching on these streaming services? Let's see. I have Hulu. I have Netflix. I have Amazon Prime. I really have all of the shit. Okay. Really spending way too much money on this shit, honey. Depending on how long this lockdown go, and they get to talking, they ain't saying nothing about furloughing us yet. But I'm imagining if, shit gets out too far, I just can't imagine. Even though the budget has already been set, we already have our salaries for the year, I'm still just wondering, like, I just can't imagine still getting paid for 3 months and 4 months and, working from home. But we'll see, you guys. We'll see. That's it, though. Yeah, y'all let me know what shows you guys are watching, and maybe I will start to add those to my list to get to eventually. All right, rockstars, let me get off of here. Like I said, I gotta go run to Walmart. I want to get 3 thermometers if I can find it, so everybody can have their own here at the house. we have one already, but I'm like trying to sterilize that all the time. Like, let me just have everybody have their own damn thermometer. So I want to get that. Plus I want to pick up some other stuff for the house. The kids have actually been pretty good without eating just every fucking thing. Although me and Mr. Honey, we about to eat and drink ourselves to death. I was like, I'm gonna be 200 pounds by the time this shit is over. I've been fucking up some food. It's just food there, you know, and I'm not a snacker. I don't normally buy snacks and stuff because I just don't buy it. I'm just a meal kind of person. A breakfast, if I'm gonna have breakfast, lunch, or dinner. But all them snacks in between, I don't normally do. But since the kids have been here, I done went and bought all that, of course, and so it's in the house. So I just find myself snacking more, and that's just not something that I normally do. So then it's all this beer and wine and alcohol and... yeah, we're going to be fat, y'all. And maybe alcoholics, too. So, but anyway, I need to replenish on the snacks for the kids and some other things. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here. I want you guys to be really safe, you know, and make sure that you are practicing social distancing. Very, very important. I just would like to see all of my rock stars still healthy and there when all this is said and done. So you guys make sure that you're safe out there. All right. And I'm gonna get off of here. We do this every single week. So make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.